I'm going to full screen this.
All right.
Oh, what just happened?
Just pretend you know everything.
I do know everything.
We're live now. Here we go.
I know everything about everything. Okay, now I gotta adjust the eyeglasses.
Okay, go for it.
I know everything about everything, Aaron.
All right, we're live here, and today we are going to be discussing who could actually defeat Batman. That's way too blue. Oh dear God, it was perfect the way it was before.
Really?
Yeah, it was perfect.
Well,
we went to the setting.
I have to do all the adjustments.
All right, go.
You haven't let me go in yet.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, we're going to say who can defeat Batman.
This is why I wanted to do it on the thing.
Here we go.
I'm just adjusting settings, guys. Sorry.
What's going on, guys? What's going on? All right, let's see what we got in the room here. We got Grim, Legend, Smoke, Jacob, Juice, Boy 45, V-Rob, Dude Fam, Autobot, Louie, Weston, Sci-Fan, Pigs Casino. What do they gamble with? Ghost, Charlie, Taylor, Patrick, Agent. What's going on, guys? How are you? And today we're going to be talking about who could actually defeat Batman. There's always this talk of Batman is so unbeatable. But we're gonna get to the bottom of that today. We're gonna figure out who could really beat Batman. This is all though on a quest to figure out who should be Batman should fight in our next season of Beatdown. But now that I think the settings are all correct, we're good. It looks good. I think we're good now.
We're good?
We're good. How's that guy? How's it look, guys? Does that look good? I think we're at 4K. I think this is the best we've had it so far. How's this look?
I've been slowly adding adjustments.
All right, here we go. So to my left here, we have the beautiful Vera Bambi.
Hey, guys. What's up?
And then off screen over here, we have my dad, Sean.
Whoa, everybody!
There he is over there. We're going to eventually get a camera on him. And you guys know the drill. If you have questions, suggestions, or want to shout out, or a Joker shout out, be sure and super chat. And if you super chat, if you super chat over $10, you get we'll put a sticky on our forehead. And if you get a lot of super chat stickies, we'll put them on her forehead. And if we get a lot, like someone did $100 sticky the other day, and me and Vera and my dad all had to put stickies on. So, but we're going to talk about who could actually defeat Batman that you might not think. We'll go down the list here. Now, there's two different Batmen that you have to realize exist. There is the Batman that's in the Justice League, who is ridiculous in all the things that he can do. And then, of course, there's the Batman from like Year One and Long Halloween, and the more realistic Batman. I think the Batman that we all like. So let's establish this right now. Which Batman do you guys like more? The Batman that is more realistic, that deals with, you know, the scum and the villainy, stuff like drugs and guns. Yeah, you know, Scarecrow, Two-Face, Batman, the more realistic Batman, or do you like the more sci-fi fantasy Batman that hangs out with the Justice League, that can beat Darkseid, that fights, you know, Clayface and Killer Croc, all these kind of exaggerated characters? So say realistic or unrealistic Batman. Which one do you like more? Which one do you like more? I'm reading your guys all your answers here, because what we're going to do, we're going to divide this into two sections, because I got news for you. Unrealistic Batman would lose to everyone. Whoever you say he would lose to.
Why?
He might even lose to the Predator.
Why would unrealistic
Batman lose? Because he's bound by reality. I have this funny.
You just said unrealistic.
Oh, the realistic Batman would lose.
Okay,
sorry.
I got confused.
The realistic Batman would lose. He would lose. He would lose all the time.
I'd be confused too.
Oh my God. The realistic Batman would lose all the time. But
that realistic is Detective Batman.
And that's my favorite Batman. That's my favorite Batman. I love that Batman. But I've always said, though, that Batman is the most unrealistic superhero out of all the superheroes. Because I guess maybe if a radioactive spider bit you, maybe in a 1 in a trillion chance you would get superpowers.
Okay,
maybe, sure. Let me finish this out real quick.
Sorry.
But I know for a fact that a human being, no matter how much you work out, no matter how much money you have, you cannot swing from buildings and sprint across rooftops and dodge bullets and fight crime for over 10 years. You would, without a doubt, die 6 weeks in. Also, what is all this nonsense about Batman being like, I'm too busy to eat? Batman would eat literally 20,000 calories a day. He would eat more than Michael Phelps and The Rock combined. He would be eating power bars on rooftops all the time. Right?
Batman is never supposed to be in a realistic world. He does have elements of stretching the normal way. He's a fantasy character.
I know, but if you want him to be realistic, like even in The Dark Knight, I'm realistic. Then he falls 80 stories on a car, the car implodes, and he's like, oh, let's never do that again. I'd be like, you would be so dead. There would be pieces of Batman for 100 yards. Anyways, let's get to these super chats.
Okay, all right. So we have our first super chatter, Cruella Entertainment. Thank you so much. Cruella says Batman versus Dread.
What's up, Cruella? I was just talking with Cruella, actually. He's working on something pretty cool that we can't quite share yet, but I have notes for you. Well, you have to specify unrealistic Batman or realistic Batman. I think unrealistic Batman would wreck him. I think realistic Batman would have a hard time.
Can we call him Detective Batman and Fantasy Batman?
I'd almost want to call him Detective Batman and Justice League Batman.
That makes more sense.
So Detective Batman would lose or have a hard time. If you watch the Dredd movie, actually, I think Detective Batman could still beat him. Detective Batman could still beat Dredd. That's a good one. I like that one. Justice League Batman would wreck Dredd. Utterly wreck him. Do you guys agree or disagree? Also, with my dad over there and Vera, which Batman do you like the best? Justice League Batman or Detective Batman?
Detective Batman.
I like Detective Batman. I mean, that's what he is. The world's greatest detective.
I like seeing crime stories more than I am about all the fighting and the brawn. That's more my thing.
Because see, when we did Dying is Easy, that's Detective Batman.
I love that.
Dying is Easy, but Batman fighting Vader, that's Justice League Batman.
A more complex Batman is awesome.
We
have we have a bunch of super chats here. Thank you guys
all right, let's
so
get to
much. We have Key JX who says Black Panther can beat Batman due to his weapons and armor of vibranium. Do you agree?
Well, Key JX, I would say that I think Detective Batman would get straight up mollywopped by Black Panther with the vibranium. So. I mean, remember Mollywop. That's the term I get from Fresh Prince. But Detective Batman has a hard time defeating, Joker and Bane and more of these semi-realistic characters. Whereas, Black Panther hangs out with the Avengers and has superpowers. But I think that Justice League Batman, he has the ultimate power. He has plot armor. I think he could beat Black Panther. I think if they fought 10 times, it's tough. I think that it could go maybe six wins for Batman, 4 for Black Panther. But it's pretty close, though.
Panther could beat Batman.
He could. If they fought 10 times, I think he'd beat him 4 times.
We got a big super chat from Dude, Fam, and Friends.
Thanks, Dude, Fam, and Friends.
Comment, but here we go. He can live on your forehead now. This is where you live, dude.
Isn't her handwriting so much better than my handwriting? Can you guys tell the difference? Can you read this now better than on my handwriting is terrible. Okay, we have Detective. Okay, so who's that? We don't want to miss this one.
I don't want to. I'm going down in order.
All right.
We also got a super chat from Braden Doak. Doak. Thank you so much. Braden. Sorry, Braden. Thank you, Braden.
You struggle on that name. That name was tough for you.
And then we have Demetrius Aggers, who said, "Yo, Detective Batman versus Sherlock Holmes."
Arguably the two greatest detectives of all time, followed by Columbo and Ace Ventura. I want to do Columbo versus Ace Ventura.
Who's smarter, Sherlock or Batman?
Batman.
Why is Batman smarter than Sherlock?
Because he is trained longer. He has a longer sense of training.
Batman lives in a time with high-tech computers.
Yeah.
But Sherlock has just intellectual, what was the word I was looking for? No. Like that improvising. I had a word. Intuition. Thank you.
Well, Sure, but are we talking about Sherlock Holmes that exists in the late 1800s?
I'm just talking about the Sherlock Holmes.
Because Sherlock Holmes
Sherlock
has no understanding of DNA. He has no understanding of any of that.
Well, it has to be modern day.
If it's modern day, who is just
modern day
like
Sherlock
essentially if Sherlock Holmes and Bruce Wayne sat down and took an IQ test, who would have the smarter brain? Well, I would say this one right away.
I would say Sherlock would have the smarter brain.
Nope.
I think Sherlock might be
Bruce Wayne has a smarter brain because Bruce Wayne is supposed to, in all of comic books, supposed to have the most strategic mind of any one character. That's Justice League Batman, and I would assume Bruce Wayne would be the same because Bruce Wayne, one, has trained longer. Two, for those who don't know, Sherlock Holmes is a drug addict. And that wears away at your brain cells.
It does. It weighs away on your
So he's constantly, right. Bruce Wayne doesn't do that.
He's sharp, though.
He's really sharp. I'm not saying that Sherlock Holmes isn't smart. I think he's very smart.
I think there's also a home field advantage. If it took place in London, I think Sherlock would have the advantage. You know.
And this is also in a detective case because if they ever got in the room with each other, Bruce Wayne would utterly destroy him physically.
Well, they're not fighting physically.
Well, if it ever
just who could solve
the crime, but I still think Bruce Wayne would figure it out.
Arctic Fox is next.
That was a good one.
But also, though, just real quick, one other note.
Got a lot of super chats.
I know about the physicality, though, because detective is all about going on the mission and the pathway to uncover who the villain is. And since Batman has so much brute force to go with his mental ability, unlike Sherlock Holmes, Batman can physically push his adversaries to give up clues quicker and better.
That's true.
Bruce Wayne.
Okay, Bruce Wayne wins. Bruce Wayne wins that one. Arctic Fox says, hey, funny thing about Batman, he's the non-superpowered superpower characters DC has. He is in real mode, can be a hot and hurt, then depending the situation, he's God tier at everything. I read that exactly as it was written.
Basically what he's saying is kind of what we're saying is he lives in two different worlds. He's the most realistic character where he's in a way weaker than every other superhero because he's so realistic, or he's Justice League Batman where he has plot armor and he's unbeatable. So it's weird that you have to live in what world Batman lives in. But I think that's why Batman is the most successful superhero of all time because he can live in a world that most superheroes can't. When you watch superhero movies, you're like, that's a superhero movie. I think when you watch a Batman movie, I think if you just say, hey, that's a superhero movie, the filmmakers did not do Batman justice. Batman should always be a superhero movie / crime drama, psychological horror. You should have all those elements. Whereas like superhero movies like Thor, Captain America are generally just superhero movies, although Captain America Civil War also had a little bit of espionage thriller in it.
Thank you so much, Ricky Muth.
Thanks, Ricky.
And we also have Key JX here who says Jim Carrey, The Mask versus Justice League Batman or Detective Batman.
Well, I think Detective Batman would kind of, I don't know, I think he might lose just because the Mask's powers are so crazy with Loki being trapped in the Mask's mask. I found it. But
I found it.
I love this. We're getting mad notes on here. Thank you guys. Super
gee, I thought you'd have a sense of humor about it. After all, you married her. That's a great line. Picture of Calloway's wife. I think, but Justice League Batman would beat Detective Batman would beat the Mask. Although the number one battle my dad wants to see, and I love it as well, is the Mask versus Beetlejuice in live action. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see that? The Mask versus Beetlejuice, and who would win that?
I want to see that, the Mask.
I would play the Mask. I would have to play the Mask.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that'd be great.
Those two characters are just as crazy as Deadpool.
Oh, way crazier. They break the fourth wall and everything. I love that.
We got Isaac. Thank you so much, Isaac.
What's up, Isaac?
Okay, so
that was a good question, though, and a good observation. I love the Mask.
Next, we have Cannabis Dreams, who says either Batman would lose to comic Conan the Barbarian. Conan kills Edric gods with a normal sword. Bat tech is just another form of sorcery to him.
My first question for you is you're using comics Conan versus movie Conan because Arnold doesn't lose. Although he did lose to Batman as Mr. Freeze, so I guess that's a good checkpoint. Barbarian Conan versus Detective Batman. What do you think? What do you guys think?
How cerebral is Conan?
I don't think he's very cerebral.
I think he's
at all.
a dummy.
If it was
so,
like on a scale of 1 to 10, if Batman's a 10, I think Conan's a 2.
Does Conan have some mystic powers though?
He kind of does. He's able. Well, I don't know if it ever states that he does, but he's able to defeat like big creatures. So it obviously implies that he has some kind of superhuman strength. I think since Conan is so dumb, I think that Batman.
I love. I think it's because he's so dumb.
I think compared to Batman, I think he's dumb. You know.
Okay, just
he's not very intelligent.
Just say he's not as intelligent.
Not, I guess.
He's not.
Hey, I picture Conan. Like, listen to.
Basically, don't insult Conan, please.
Here's Conan.
Don't insult Conan, please.
Conan's like, you know, we see the driven before you and the lamentation of the women. That's how he talks. You know, he's like, we go to village, we ransack people, take treasures.
He's a barbarian.
And we make women ours. I think that dumb is a pretty accurate description of how I was just talking.
Yeah, so we'll give the advantage to Batman.
He's mentally, he's
He's a
Listen, he's a barbarian.
He's a barbarian.
He lives in a time of primitive thinking.
Primitive thinking.
He has mental deficiency.
Okay.
Just don't insult Conan.
I love Arnold.
Batman
really smart.
has the intellectual advantage,
and he has the tech that'll mess him up.
Yeah, you gotta think. Braden Doak. Oh wait, let me make sure I was in the right spot. No, okay. Isaac Ortiz. Thank you, Isaac.
Thank you,
Just
Isaac.
right here. Says both versions of Batman are enjoyable for different reasons. It feels weird to pit them against each other. Both are great.
They are both great, and there's a lot of cool stories. Like I think a great blend of the two is The Dark Knight Returns, where Batman, you know, comes back and has to fight the Joker and deal with Harvey Dent having surgery on his face, but then battling the mutant leader and then eventually taking on Superman. I think that's a wonderful blend of the two. But I think like when Batman, the Tower of Babel, when Batman takes down the Justice League is a really cool story. I think any story involving Batman and Superman, when they have dialogue that pits their morality against each other is great. Unlike the movie where they had literally 7 lines of dialogue together. Next time they shine the light in the sky, don't go to it. The bat is dead. And he goes, do you bleed? You will.
You will.
What did a 9-year-old write this dialogue?
Thank you, Isaac.
But I agree, they're both great, and I love them both, and we've used both of them on our channel. But I prefer Detective Batman.
Now we have Braden Doak, who says Batman versus Predator.
Well, they fought.
Braden.
They fought in the comic books, and Batman. They fought actually 3 times in the comic books, and Batman won all 3. You know, so, and I'm gonna bring it up.
What?
Danny Glover.
Danny Glover beat the Predator.
Yeah, if Danny Glover could beat the Predator, so I would just ask you: do you think Danny Glover could beat Batman? Because he can't.
Okay. That's the actor. Who was Danny Glover in the movie?
He's a beat cop. He basically wouldn't. He would work. He's like Bullock.
I mean, I forget. Was he like?
He's like Bullock.
Did he have high-tech weapons?
No,
or something?
nothing. He's like Bullock. That's all it is. He's like Bullock. He's not even Gordon. Gordon versus Danny Glover from Predator. Danny Glover would still lose. James Gordon versus the Predator. Now that's a good one. I think that one works.
Because Gordon's a smarty.
Yeah, if you had the GCPD against the Predator, I think early on, Bullock gets a little cavalier, like Jesse Ventura from Predator, gets a giant hole blown in his chest, and then Commissioner Gordon steps up and takes down the Predator, and then Batman shows up and he's like, why didn't you just call me? I could have beaten him like that.
Oh no, I hope I'm not losing people here. Okay, Ricky Muth says Batman versus Owlman. Thank you, Ricky. Got you right here, Ricky.
Justice League Batman would beat Owlman. They've actually fought before, and Justice League Batman has won. Detective Batman would lose to Owlman just because Owlman purely exists. Owlman is the counterpart to Batman in a different dimension, but he solely is always in the corrupt Justice League.
Where did they battle?
In the comics.
Okay.
The battle in the comics. So I would say that you're going to find that a lot of Detective Batman loses and a lot of Justice League Batman wins. But we'll keep going here. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. And if you have different opinions, tell me I'm wrong.
I'm agreeing with most of what you're saying. Arctic Fox says
Trinity.
Real world Batman versus real world Punisher.
I would still go with real world Batman just because, remember, Frank Castle decided to become Punisher in his late 20s or early 30s because he already had a wife and kid, and the kid was already like 8 or 9 years old. And he was also, I mean, granted, at that point, he already had military training. You know, he was a Navy SEAL, which is, you know, super badass and respect to all the people that have served out there. But Bruce Wayne started training to become Batman when he was like 9 years old mentally, and then left and did all that. So basically, you got to give it to experience. Also, Frank Castle, he has decent money. Bruce Wayne is like, you know, Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. So when you have like $50 to $100 billion in your bank account, you can do a lot of cool stuff. So I think that I think real world Batman would wreck Punisher. I think he would almost beat him 10 out of 10 times. I'm going to go that hard on that. Agree, disagree?
I agree, but I have to give it to the Punisher a lot of credit for having the chutzpah to challenge Batman.
Punisher could fight Predator. He's in that league. Predator's in the same league Punisher's in the same league as Predator and Danny Glover and Kevin McAllister, you know, all those people.
No.
No.
Okay.
You should see Sean right now.
And the Punisher, what's wrong with you?
Little do you know.
What's wrong with you?
Kevin McAllister grows up to be the Punisher.
Did you guys see that commercial?
Yeah, we watched, yeah.
There's a commercial, a Home Alone one for Google. It's pretty good. Thank you so much, Aneurysm.
That was Aneurysm.
No, next is Aneurysm.
Oh, Aneurysm. Okay.
Next is Aneurysm, who says Ozymandias would crush Batman. Obviously, Batman is capable of beating anyone, but Ozymandias is arguably smarter, faster, stronger, and knows every martial art. Is he smarter? Because smart does a lot.
Here's why I will say that he's not smarter, but that he is smarter.
Why is he not smarter?
He is, but isn't.
He is, that isn't. And here's...
Thank you, Aneurysm.
He's from Watchmen. And the reason... And all those things he said was true. But there's one thing that character has that Bruce Wayne, Batman, does not have that he would easily exploit. And that character has a lot of arrogance. He thinks he's like, Batman, how can you defeat me? I'm smarter than you. I'm all these things. And Batman's like, you know, while you were busy thinking you're smarter than me, I did something to prove that you're not smarter than me. And they would beat him. That's how he would take him out. If you have a weakness, Justice League Batman is going to exploit it. He's going to exploit it. He's going to find it, and he's going to tear you down. You know, that's why people with no weaknesses, Batman has a hard time fighting, because then you just have to go power level versus power level. And that is, like, tough. You know, like Batman's tech could not bring down Superman unless Superman has a weakness, which he does, is kryptonite and magic. But Batman needs to have a weakness. Batman will exploit you. He can't beat you, like, straight up. You know?
Next, we have Dude, Fam, and Friends. Thank you so much for this big super chat. You guys are killing it tonight. Thank you. Who says, again, Batman is the greatest detective. GOAT for a reason. Kevin Porter as Batman, you as Beetlejuice.
Whoa.
I won't do 2 shows tonight, all right? I won't do it. Oh, no, Kevin's... I'd rather be the Mask. I'd rather be Joker. If I'm going to be a white-faced person fighting Kevin, I'd rather be Joker. Do you guys want to see me come back as Joker again? How would you like to see the Clown Prince of Crime return to your YouTube screens in your very living room? I think it'd be fun to come back as Joker.
Okay.
I would like to see as Beetlejuice as the question.
I'd rather. Oh man, I love Beetlejuice. He's great. Michael Keaton's wonderful in it. It would be fun. I love acting with Kevin Porter in general.
You can get Batman to screw up somehow.
No, he'd have to say his name. He'd read it. Kevin's voice, Beetlejuice.
We have a really big one here.
All right, lay it on me.
From Key JX.
What's up, Key JX?
Doubled on my forehead.
That's right. I remember him from earlier.
Going in. Thank you, Key. We appreciate you. 20 super chat says, what about this one? The Batman who laughs. Can he kill all versions of Batman?
So the Batman Who Laughs is really a cool character. We might have to tackle him in one of our future beatdowns. Me as the Batman Who Laughs. That would be a really cool one to do. I want to get the Prime 1 statue. I'm so mad that I missed that Prime 1
really
statue.
Cool looking Batman.
Great.
I love the look.
That's an interesting match.
I like that one a lot.
That's cool.
He could definitely beat. He could definitely beat Detective Batman. I think he would struggle with Justice League Batman because you're dealing with two OP characters. For you guys who don't know or know the origin of the origin of the Batman Who Laughs is that Batman finally defeats the Joker. But on doing so, when he kills the Joker has like a serum in his body that it's like a gas that gets released. And it basically Joker's DNA in a weird way gets put right in. It's not just Smilex. It's like
the symbiote.
It's like Joker's Smilex goes right into Batman and it corrupts Batman. So that he actually is Bruce Wayne, but he's infected with Smilex so bad, like Smilex at a molecular level, which is coated with Joker's DNA.
So it's sort of the same thing as the symbiote for Spider-Man. Kind of.
Well,
it's like it could be. It could have been inspired by that.
It could be. The thing of it is, it's like more of. That's more two consciousness because the symbiote is a consciousness and Peter Parker has a consciousness or Eddie Brock does. This doesn't. The Batman Who Laughs is just solely one person.
Joker takes over Batman.
Yeah, it's almost more like Onslaught.
So then is he a villain then?
Oh yeah, he's a villain.
Oh, he's a villain.
Oh, he's he's the villain of the whole Metal universe.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and he kills everyone. He's so powerful because then he also accumulates powers.
I don't really know the Batman Who Laughs.
It's an interesting story. Really it's cool. Super fragmented. I don't think it's that super well written. I think it's kind of all over the place.
It sounds fun though.
But he looks great though, and he has kind of a cool presence to him. I think if they were to refine him for a movie, he could be really cool.
The more you guys mention the Batman Who Laughs, the more I'm like, I gotta read this. Okay, now we have George Hernandez. Thank you, George. I gotta write you
What's
down.
going on, George? How are you?
You guys are incredible. Thank you so much.
Crushing it tonight. Also, guys, if you want a Joker shout out, super chat, and I will give you a Joker shout out.
You can make sure you can put that in your requests if you like. We should do that for anybody who does exactly 15. It's always like you read it in the Joker.
Sure.
I'll nudge you hey, this one's 15.
15 or over, I'll give you. So you
that's
can also
be the rule now.
You can also say what you want me to say too, because Kimiko, she would always super chat and tell me different things from Edgar Allan Poe to read as Joker, which was a lot of fun. Or she would give me music lyrics, like reading Bohemian Rhapsody as the Joker.
Okay, I love that.
You know?
Okay, so George Hernandez says Kirk Langstrom Batman, Gods and Monsters versus Bruce Wayne Batman. I love how it's always Batman versus Batman.
I know. There's so many versions of that. That's an interesting one. Use the Gods and Monsters one. I would say I still have to go Bruce Wayne Batman because he just has more training. He has just more training and he's more dedicated to his craft. What happens is it's interesting because when Batman becomes a villain, he loses his morality, which is a sense of accountability and responsibility. And when you lose those things, I think the only way to lose those things is to develop arrogance. And when you have arrogance, then you have a weakness, and a weakness is exploitable. So I always think that the villain, being a villain, while you have the advantage of always never holding back, you have the disadvantage of being arrogant. Because you simply have the arrogance of being evil and feeling that you're justified in inflicting pain on others, and that is a weakness.
Yep, for sure.
Can you call out the names on your body?
Oh, we got a lot here. We got Ricky Muth, we got Arctic Fox, Aneurysm Fun, TJX times 2, Isaac Ortiz, Ricky Muth, Dude Fam and Friends, George Hernandez, Dude Fam and Friends. We got a solid group in here.
We got a solid group.
We're having a lot of fun. This is a great stream. Oh my gosh, we should stay on a little bit.
So we'll be on a little extra longer because you guys are crushing it.
You guys are
obviously you're enjoying it. We're enjoying it. So we'll stay on for another whole hour.
Okay, Brandon Ninja. I almost said Batman Ninja. Brandon Ninja says Flashpoint Batman, Thomas Wayne versus Batman. You can't pit them against each other. That's father and son.
They fought in the comics a bunch of times.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, they live in the city of Bane and a bunch of other things.
You know way more about Batman than...
I would definitely say that Bruce Wayne would win. One, because Thomas Wayne is an alcoholic, therefore he loses. Or he drinks a lot.
But I feel like Bruce would be weaker emotionally, whereas Thomas is absolutely like he's a more vicious Batman.
He is. Well, I wrote a whole short story.
So if he didn't know, like say he's fighting Batman, he doesn't know that this is his son because he's like drunk and he's you know who he is, whereas Batman has it all together, but this is his father. Batman would almost be weakened by the fact that he's being faced with the thing that made him Batman in the first place. Can he even fight Thomas Wayne's Batman?
If he can. He can. Bruce Wayne would win. Bruce Wayne would take him. He would emotionally put that aside. He also would realize that it's not actually his father, that it's his father from a different dimension.
Okay.
So that I think they would play. And also the fact that he sees his father with a gun murdering people realizes that he would immediately know that's not his dad.
Yeah.
So
this is not my dad anymore.
Yeah. So I think that I wrote a great short story of the two of them battling. That's all dialogue, which be portrayed by Kevin. We have great artwork, which I want to show you that we got commissioned because it's supposed to be.
He just hushed me right up. I just went silent, like, interesting.
But I go regular Bruce Wayne Batman. But I would love to see. Would you guys rather see a short film if we were doing Indiegogo short film versus Batman versus Flashpoint, or Batman versus Red Hood? Who would you rather see? Let me know.
We have to interrupt this broadcast to highlight somebody who just threw down an incredible super chat, which we will also read all of them in order, guys. I just want to make sure because Key just threw down 100. Thank you so much, Key. Holy guacamole. Keys. I'm gonna read Keys first, and then I'll go back and do everything in order because that's just fabulous. Thank you, Key.
All right,
let's unlock the door with this Key. You're staying on my forehead. You're gonna live here the whole chat. Key says, "Going all out. Bruce Lee can beat Batman in hand-to-hand combat." By the way, remember Bruce fought Chuck Norris and won.
Okay, that's not really a question. You're just stating something. Are you asking me if Bruce Lee can beat Batman? He's saying,
listen. You want to fight? You want to fight, Aaron? Who? You versus me. That's what Key's saying.
So I've read Bruce Lee's book and his training book. And for those who don't know, the legend of Bruce Lee, he is a revolutionary fighter who is a hero to many. And is obviously a very big deal in a lot of the Asian countries, and rightfully so. His training is really extensive. So I'm gonna basically, it's kind of a crazy fight to compare Bruce Lee to Bruce Wayne, just because one is fictional and one is not. And if I list all the amazing attributes that Bruce Wayne has accomplished, they're all fake. And while I think that Bruce Wayne would beat Bruce Lee, Bruce Lee's a real person. So it's much more. Well done. It's much more impressive, all the feats that Bruce Lee has accomplished. Bruce Lee, every morning, would jog 5 miles he jogged 4 miles under 25 minutes. Then he would jog backwards for 2 miles.
Knee strength.
Then he would jump rope for an hour. Then he would get on the bike for another hour. He would do this every morning, which is crazy. And the reason why he did this, which is why this is so cool, is that he always said, he goes, I don't necessarily have to be better than my opponent. I have to be equal to him, but I have to just remain at 100% longer than he can. So his endurance was so high that he would never slip. He could be 30 minutes into a fight and his power level is still at 100%. That was his way of thinking.
That's incredible.
Which is pretty cool. Now, the problem is that time progresses. And if you're familiar with football, Jim Brown is voted arguably, one of the greatest football players of all time and the greatest running back of all time. And rightfully so for all the things that he accomplished back in the 60s. Having said that, if you took Derrick Henry or Emmitt Smith of the 90s, Derrick Henry now of the Titans, they would run circles around him just because there is better training. So like Bruce Lee has the disadvantage of existing back in the 60s, although while that was the advantage because he came up with all these things and was revolutionary. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, and that's why it's tricky to put fictional characters against real people. Because at the end of the day, Bruce Lee could just grab a Batman comic and rip it in half. But ow, I just hit my funny bone. Oh my god.
Oh my god, are you okay?
Oh,
You're supposed to laugh. It's your funny bone.
ow, I really hit that really hard then.
This chair has been after me today too.
Oh man, that might be the hardest I've ever hit my funny bone ever. That was pretty brutal. That was Bruce Lee karate chopping me from the afterlife, saying, "Hey, I could beat Batman." But wow, that was the hardest I've ever hit. That was brutal. But I think Bruce Wayne would win just because he knows way more fighting styles. He has unrealistic physical ability.
Hey, Bruce Lee was Kato.
I know. And I think Batman beat him when they had their crossover. But Bruce Lee is super cool, and all his accomplishments are great. Having said that, I think Bruce Wayne would wreck him, though. Utterly wreck him. I mean, Bruce Wayne can bench 1,000 pounds, which is basically impossible, by the way. So you're giving Bruce Wayne these stats. Bruce Wayne's 6'4", 240, and then he can bench press 1,000 pounds. The Rock at 6'5", 280 can only bench press 520 pounds. So what I'm saying is that Bruce Lee is having to deal with unrealistic things. That's why he would lose, But
you just rocked the socks off this chat room.
So that's the overall. So it's no disrespect to Bruce Lee. You're just putting him against someone who's unrealistic.
That was really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, grab Bruce Lee's book.
Lee's like the coolest of
What's
all
the
time.
name of his book?
I don't remember actually, but
You have it in
it's
the room
blue.
somewhere?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. His training is pretty extensive.
That's
It's pretty
cool.
extensive. So
Thank you, Key. That was incredible. Okay, so next we have Braden Doak, who says Batman versus Dr. Octopus. Thank you, Braden. And then next is Red Buick, who I put right here. So Braden up first. Batman versus Doc Ock.
I think Batman would beat Elton John, unless they're Doc.
Tell them why you say that.
I think that so Doc Ock back in the 60s and 70s, he was drawn kind of a little short and a little frumpy. And he was always sitting down. He had this kind of like bowl haircut with these really glamorous big goggles. And as a kid, he always looked like Elton John. And I thought he used those
like
arms
Elton
to just
John.
crush it on the piano because he had all these extra arms.
Crash it on the piano.
Benny and the Octopuses. I think that. I think that Batman would crush Dr. Octopus. I think Dr. Octopus is really smart. I think he has a compelling story. I think that in the Batman world, he's most equal to Mr. Freeze. He has a tragicness to him, and you kind of relate to him and understand. So
Oh my god.
I think that Batman would definitely wreck Doc Ock. Now, when Doc Ock was in Spider-Man's body and it was Superior Spider-Man, I think then you're onto something there. I think you're onto something, but I give it to Batman over Doc Ock.
I'm gonna put him. Right,
What is this?
I'm gonna move dude over here
All right, dude.
because Key just threw down 100 again.
Another one?
You
Key.
have full forehead real estate, Key.
All right, Key, here's what I want you to do. I want you to post in the room. You don't have the super chat or anything like that. Post in the room, and I'll say anything you want as Joker. Whatever you want, I will read it to you.
You keep an eye on that chat because I'm keeping an eye on this one, okay?
We here at Bat in the Sun
God.
very much appreciate the support and just good, interesting conversation. I love talking Bruce Lee. We actually wanted to do Bruce Lee versus Bruce Wayne. True story. Our fight coordinator, Alvin Singh, who looks a lot like Bruce Lee and is a really, really good fighter. We wanted to have him fight Kevin Porter as Bruce Wayne, and they meet in the Batcave. As if, we're going to have it where they meet in the Batcave, and Bruce Wayne is like, I've been expecting you. He goes, you're the one that helped train Ra's al Ghul. And then basically they would fight. The reason why we didn't do it is because, and it's interesting, because we did a lot of research on Bruce Lee. We even reached out to Bruce Lee's family to try to get them involved. And it was tricky because I think a lot of fans would have voted that Bruce Wayne would have won. And I think that would have unfairly made Bruce Lee look bad because he lost, but he lost to a fictional character. But anyways, Alvin, he was on the fence about portraying Bruce Lee because Bruce Lee is such a big impact and icon to him that he almost didn't want to portray him. He just wants to do it. He didn't want to do it. He held himself because he takes his martial arts so seriously, and that's, I think, obvious in how great our beatdowns are choreographed, that he wanted to train. He literally says, he goes, Aaron, if I'm going to do this, he goes, I need to go on a 4-month training regimen so he can get as jacked and as lean as Bruce Lee was. And he's like, and I need to train. And then he said, I also need to just learn some more fighting styles to mimic Bruce Lee. Interesting fun fact, the stunt double that doubled Keaton in the first Batman, David Lee, one of his fight masters was trained by Bruce Lee, and we brought him in to make sure the fight had a Batman feel, but also a Bruce Lee feel. So we really went all out, and we almost did this fight. Like, it was pretty much like we storyboarded it, we got everything going, and then we kind of didn't do it because we just felt like we didn't want to seem like we were being disrespectful to Bruce Lee. So we kind of stopped.
His icon is so big that you have to be careful.
You have to be careful. We had to do both endings. And I could hear people being mad either way. Like, Batman would win. Of course he would. He's so strong. He can beat Superman, blah, blah, blah. Of course he can just beat a regular person. But then you'd be like, but Bruce Lee's a real person. And his accomplishments are limited by the real world. You know, he can't go around and be like, I beat, Darkseid from Apocalypse. Because that's not a thing. Batman can say that. And that's why it's kind of unfair. But anyways, it's been a huge topic. And we've wanted to do it for a very long time.
Key, this is super incredible, and we really, really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Also, one last fun fact. Kevin Porter, our Batman, is a huge Bruce Lee fan, and he loves Enter the Dragon. And Kevin has a jumpsuit that's basically the same one that Bruce Lee had, the yellow one. And he has shoes. He has yellow shoes that were made to honor Bruce Lee. So anyways, there you go. There's all the Bruce Lee fun facts.
Next up waiting, we have our boy, Red Buick, right
What's
here.
up, Red Buick? I got your email. I appreciate the kind words. And you show me both your cars.
Red Buick says, Batman vs. the Sinister Six, no prep. On a side note, as a backer, I think showing the Legend of the White trailer Friday is masterful marketing. I can wait 2 days after. So hyped.
Nice. We're going to be showing it Saturday, actually, the 4th. And then it'll go online probably on. It might go online the same day for the Kickstarters. I'm trying to work that out.
Keep your eyes peeled for that.
It's more complicated than people make it sound. People will just say, "Do this. Why don't you do that?" And I'll be like, "Well, because I'm doing like 1,000 things, and I have to coordinate it with a lot of people. Just because we don't do it doesn't mean that I disagree or don't want to do it. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff, and you have to realize that while we are a great company, we don't have as many people employed as Warner Brothers or any of those people. So we do a lot of things ourselves. And I think that's why things are so personal and handled well, because we like to do them ourselves. As far as that, who would win, the Sinister Six or Detective Batman?
The Sinister Six.
Yeah, I agree. They'd crush him. Do you know who the Sinister Six is?
No, I don't. Please tell me.
The Sinister Six is...
Elektra?
Yeah, it's accumulation of Spider-Man villains. 6 Spider-Man villains.
Oh, okay.
They all get together.
Dr. Octopus.
Yeah. There's been a couple of the Rhino, Lizard, Vulture.
I know Batman.
Vulture, Sandman, I think too.
Sandman, Kraven came in later. Venom's never been a part of it. We looked this up what year the first Sinister Six was. It was like 68 or something like that. Basically, the Spider-Man villains very smartly realize that they can't beat them separately, so they go, well, let's team up. So there you go. I think the Sinister Six would beat Batman, but they sure as heck would not beat Justice League Batman. Justice League Batman would beat the Sinister Six. If Justice League Batman can beat the Justice League, he can beat the Sinister Six.
Next up, we've got Caleb Connolly. Thank you so much, Red Buick, for that. Caleb Connolly, thank you, Caleb, who says, Darkwing Duck, the Duck Batman versus Howard the Duck. Darkwing Duck.
That's a ducking awesome battle.
It's a ducking.
It's a freaking ducking awesome battle. Darkwing Duck would beat Howard the Duck because he's got a little Batman in him. And Howard the Duck is arguably the star of the worst Marvel movie ever, Howard the Duck. Although he cameoed in Guardians of the Galaxy too, if you didn't know that. But he's really quick, though.
Next, we got Sam DeMann, who says, thank you so much, Sam. Who wins in a fight? The Beatles versus the Rolling Stones.
Okay.
Come over here.
Well, in a music battle, the Beatles wreck the Stones. As Paul McCartney and The Who and all of them have said, the Stones are just basically a blues cover band. But if you're saying in a fight, because you said the word fight on there, here's a little fun fact about the Beatles and Rolling Stones. While the Stones portray their gritty, edgy, demeanor about them, how they're all bad and stuff, They're all actually spoiled rich kids who went to nice colleges who put on the persona that they're dark, whereas the Beatles grew up in Liverpool, which is basically Compton over there, and got into real street fights. If you asked right now, who's been in more hand-to-hand street fights, Paul McCartney or Mick Jagger, the answer is very obvious. It's Paul McCartney. He grew up in like a real rough area. They are the true street band where the Stones are just posers on every level.
They write nice jingles.
Yeah, okay.
Give him some credit.
And he likes to spasm dance on stage, you know?
Doesn't he put like acid in his headband and then like, I don't know, someone told me.
I don't know.
Well, the Stones have a lot of blues fans.
They do.
They have for many decades. But the Beatles have the masses, which means every generation of every country in this world.
Yeah.
I like the Stones, but I think it's obvious. I think it's obvious that the Beatles are just a million trillion times better. The Stones I like, but in comparison, I'm like, they're okay.
Yeah, it's not to say the Stones are bad, because they're definitely up there in that league.
Comparison.
But like, I could name 5 bands that are better than the Stones: Queen, Pink Floyd, The Who, Zeppelin. Right, you know, eat it right off the bat. Those 4. I can keep going, but they're all better.
All right, we got Josh Black waiting here. Thank
Wings
you
is
so
better.
Much, Josh. Josh says Elektra v Batman. Note: a lot of people don't know this. She has a silent scream that can send people flying. It's a chi-based technique.
I didn't know that. I've read Elektra a few times. I read a lot of Frank Miller stuff, which is really good stuff. Batman would still win though. He's just a powerhouse. See, this is where Batman is quicker, more trained, and stronger than Elektra on every level. And plus, she doesn't have tech. And I tell you, tech and armor, she's literally fighting in lingerie. She literally has these little wispy things all over her body. And Batman has bulletproof armor and serrated blades on it with like Kevlar knuckles.
Poor girl can't even bend.
Yeah. She's flashing people left and right.
Let's be realistic about this.
It's a very, very inappropriate fight costume.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Josh. I'm scrolling past Key here. Just want to say again, thank you so much, Key. That's so incredible.
Yes, thank you, Key.
All right. Dude, Fam, and Friends says, you can't see me, but imagine the Joker speaking, laughing, talking to you in general.
What?
I think he's saying that
You can't see me? Is that what I'm supposed to say?
You can't see me, but imagine the Joker speaking, laughing, talking to you in general. No, we're doing 15 for Joker.
Right, but I'm trying to figure what.
I don't understand. I'm reading it as it's written. Dude, we may need some clarification.
I think he's the Joker back to you.
I think that's what he's doing. I think he's being the Joker.
Oh, I'm confused by this.
Thank you,
he's
dude.
The Joker as well.
Is that Nigma back there?
Next, we got Otto Gonzalez, who said, Vera's Poison Ivy versus Uma Thurman Poison Ivy.
Do I have permission to speak my mind?
Speak your mind.
Okay, so I think right off the bat, the number one thing Poison Ivy has to be is attractive. And I'm sorry, Uma.
I think Uma's cute.
She's not unattractive, but Poison Ivy is supposed to be like the definition of like
hyper sexy.
Yeah, like Uma Thurman could never be a Victoria's Secret model.
But my Poison Ivy in your film is more green and like worn down.
Right.
Whereas her Ivy is more burlesque and like dressed up.
Right. So we take Uma and we dress her up. We had all the frills, and then we dress you down, cover you in muck and all this sort of stuff, and you still look 10 times more attractive.
Well, thank you.
And plus,
I'm going to take the compliment.
I would say, now, as far as acting ability,
I think
obviously,
Uma is super sexy.
Obviously, Uma would take it acting.
Uma's family could be watching this.
Uma's family is watching our live stream.
And if you are, congrats on all the success and watching us from your giant house that her wonderful career has afforded to buy you. I'm not to take any credit away from Uma, and she was great in Kill Bill.
Well, you're allowed to say what you think.
I'm just saying that it's
Poison
Ivy.
At the end of the day.
I don't know who was a worse cast, Poison Ivy or Arnold Schwarzenegger. I would say, Uma's Poison Ivy because I didn't even find her that entertaining. Arnold is always entertaining.
So do you know what that means? That means we need more of your Bambi as Poison Ivy.
I told you I wrote a story where Harley and Poison Ivy team up against the Joker.
I like that.
Or we're
Can we have Catwoman also?
Or we could do that.
We gotta do the sirens.
The sirens, or where Poison Ivy takes all the Robins and makes the characters fight. Makes Batman fight another hero.
I like the concept of Poison Ivy controlling shit.
Yeah, maybe
that kind of. I love that.
Batman and Captain America. Maybe Batman and Captain America fight because Poison Ivy is controlling them.
I want to bring a little sexy to Ivy. We haven't really gotten full blown sexy Ivy.
Oh,
I'm shouting about. I'm shouting out again to Key because I'm scrolling past that other gigantic super chat that has just got me flabbergasted. Thank you so much, Key.
Thank you, Key.
Thank you. Next we have Brandon Ninja, Neo versus Luke Skywalker.
So I've been asked this before, and that's a great one. But I guess the real thing is with Neo always is if it doesn't take place in the Matrix, I don't know if he's going to be able to do much. I know that he supposedly has powers outside the Matrix, but I have to go with Luke Skywalker. But it would be an epic battle, and I think that's a really good one. What do you think, Dad? Do you think Neo or Luke Skywalker?
I think Neo.
You think Neo? Well, he's coming back. They're bringing Keanu back. I like Keanu because he's part...
Because Neo controls the Matrix.
Kind of. Well, we'll see how this new movie spins everything. This new movie is going to spin it all. It's going to twist it upside down. It's going to Wreck-It Ralph the Matrix universe.
Braden Doak says, a battle of the Robins, Dick versus Jason versus Tim versus Damian in an all-out brawl. Not a Batman question. Just want to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, the physically most powerful Robin is Dick Grayson. He was trained directly by Batman, grew up with Batman. Red Hood was trained a little bit by Batman, but also was trained by Ra's al Ghul. And Talia, who he supposedly even had like an affair with, which is super weird, and I don't like that recon.
Didn't she like take advantage of him?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Definitely weird. Tim Drake, they say, is the smartest Robin, although definitely not the most physically powerful. And then there's Damian Wayne, who's just a brat. Who Nightwing has. Here's the thing is, and here's
but Damian Wayne is very intelligent, and he's trained by Ra's in the League of Shadows.
That's true. He's also 5 foot, 110 pounds.
Not to be underestimated. Yeah, but he's a little ninja.
I think I could be Damian Wayne. He's 100 pounds.
He'll catch you off guard. He'll catch you when you're not expecting.
The reason why I would say, yeah,
he's tiny enough.
They fit in a backpack.
Can fit in small places.
I put him in a backpack and ship him back to where he's from.
And he's very intelligent. You have to give Damian Wayne more credit.
Here's how much credit I will give him. Dick Grayson has successfully beat him multiple times, as well as Red Hood, who I don't think has ever beaten Dick Grayson.
But Damian has almost gotten the better of him.
Almost, but not. That's like, hey.
Okay, but at this point, how old is Damian?
It's like, well, he should.
Because you could even do an older Damian to make it a little more even. And if you did that, if you made Damian older, these guys are getting a little older, maybe Damian could overtake them.
If you're going older Damian Wayne, and they have done the story, Adam Kubrick did the art for it. I think he also wrote the story. It's an all right story. Damian Wayne was very powerful because he obviously has Bruce's DNA running through him. Mm-hmm. If you're going future Damian, then maybe Damian. But without a doubt, in current continuity, Tim Drake, Jason Todd, and Damian Wayne have never successfully beat beaten Dick Grayson. Therefore, by actual reference, Dick Grayson wins. Okay. Battle for the Cowl, Dick Grayson won.
Okay. Dude, fam, and friends, we are covered in notes here. Says,
I like it.
I love everything you do. You can't see my Joker laugh and cackle. Regardless, smile. Where's your Joker laugh? I think he is the Joker.
Okay.
I think that's what Dude is saying.
That he's the Joker. I love everything. Yeah. You can't see my Joker laugh and cackle.
In the
Regardless,
Joker.
Smile, though your heart is breaking. Smile, where's your Joker laugh? All right.
Though your heart is breaking.
Okay, so you're going to read that as the Joker. All right.
Hello, dude fam.
Dude fam.
I don't know if we're fam. I barely even know you. You can't see my Joker. Oh, wait, yes, you can. But regardless, you want to hear my laugh?
Jesus, it's so loud. It like throws me back like you're a canary or something.
I can scream really loud. I can scream like canary.
Oh my God, please don't.
We used to do that. Right? I used to be able to just scream my loudest.
Yeah.
Okay. Otto Gonzalez says Batman versus Guts from Berserk.
Which is Keanu Reeves. I'm an FBI agent. You gotta go down, Brody. Point Break is a great movie. I would say Batman would win. Batman would win, but I think Neo versus John Wick versus Guts is the way to go on that one. And you know who would win? Keanu Reeves from The Lake House, because that's just a sweet movie that features the Paul McCartney song. If you can capture Sandra Bullock's heart, you can beat Neo, John Wick, and Guts from Berserk. Just saying. I'm just saying. I'm very passionate about this. The Lake House is a good movie.
Thank you. Chelsea Morris says the Bat versus Black Panther, the rematch.
If it is Justice League Batman, I would give it to Batman over Black Panther 6 out of 10. So Panther would win 4 of them. Batman would win 6 of them. If it is Detective Batman, which is the more realistic, crazy powered, plot armored Batman, I think Black Panther wins all 10.
Somebody in this chat, Will Woofus, says, no, Batman is scared of snake and clowns? What? Are you saying that he... Never mind.
No.
I think I got lost in this chat room.
You got lost.
It stole my attention. I was like, what? Batman's not afraid of clowns.
Oh, boy. I think, are we finally caught up?
We are super caught up on the super chats. I haven't even spammed the chat room at all with my reminders of how people can get in here. So I'm just going to quickly say thank you so much to all of these super chatters so far. This is a lot. Huge, big shout out to Key JX, who is 1, 2, 3, 4 with 300s on here. So that's incredible. So to everybody who is new here, make sure that you use the super chat feature for your questions. 10 and up for your name written here. These ones that are different, the red ones, those are the 100 ones. 50 and up for the big mention, which is like a different color one. 200 and up for a photo of us with your mention. And Aaron he's reading the ones that are 15 and up. He's reading those ones in the Joker voice. And then you guys, if you want to ask him to try some impersonations, Aaron's pretty good at off the cuff figuring it out. I'm okay.
I'm all right.
His Joker is by far the best, but I think that Aaron is better at voices than Aaron thinks he is.
No. So real quicker, I just want to give congratulations to Paul out there who just said his child turned a week old this week, and also I used the wrong Berserk. I used the Keanu Reeves. Guts is from the anime. I still think Batman would beat Guts from the Berserk anime. Well, Detective Batman would lose. Justice League Batman would win. I have auto-corrected myself.
All right. Next, we've got Christopher. Oh, Taurus, who gets...
What's up, Christopher? Christopher is a loyal fan.
Thank you so much, Chris. So Christopher says, what are your thoughts on the Resident Evil reboot, Welcome to Raccoon City? I just saw the movie tonight. Felt they did better with making this closer to the game, but still could have been more good.
I have 2 things to say about it. One serious, one joking. I think the overall look of the game, I have not seen the movie. I think the overall look of the movie, the trailer, matches the game a lot more. It actually looks like Resident Evil, where when you watch the trailer, you're like, oh, this looks like Resident Evil, versus when you watch the trailer, you're like, what's this? And they're like, Resident Evil, and you're like, I don't see it. But it takes place in Raccoon City, which at any point on the radio, do we just hear a little bit of Rocky Raccoon? That's all I want. To find Gideon's Bible. If that's not in the movie, I feel like they misstepped on that. That's all I want. Every time I hear about a raccoon, I think of Rocky.
Her name was McGill.
And she called herself Lil. But everyone knew her as Nancy.
Thank you, Chris.
And who wrote that? The greatest songwriter of the last 100 years.
Huge Paul McCartney fan. If you haven't noticed yet.
Yeah, he's right here. Anyways, I look forward to seeing that, and let me answer all your questions, Chris. I'm glad you liked it, though. I'm glad that you. I'm glad to hear that it's better than the previous ones, because they really went downhill.
Our boy Aneurysm Fun is back with another super chat.
All right.
Superman Prime versus Dr. Manhattan. Also, have you guys seen the Beatles docuseries on Disney Plus?
Okay.
We just finished it.
We did. We just
I
finished
had to
it.
answer. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 8 hours.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's incredible.
I'll answer your question first. I think Superman Prime could be. I don't know if Superman Prime could be Dr. Manhattan. Dr. Manhattan at his full power level awareness is very powerful. I would only say that Superman Prime. Oh God, they're both like cellular charged characters. I want to say Superman Prime would win, but I don't know on that one. It would be really close. I go Superman Prime because he can move at light speed. I know Dr. Manhattan is extremely powerful, but I don't think he actually can move at light speed. I don't know. As far as the Beatles documentary, what do you guys have to say about it?
I am so happy. It's really cool that you get to just sit down on such an intimate level with them. I've really enjoyed it. I could use so many more hours.
Yes, it was like 8 hours of just hanging out with them.
I need more. I would like more hours. It's
Yeah.
not. It's actually not enough when you're done.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I missed that.
that's it?
That I finished it. I want to watch it again now.
it kind of starts out like, okay, this is how it's going to be. It's going to be really intimate and like really zoomed in on the interpersonal relationships. You're like, okay, so at first it's a lot. And then as you get into it, you're like, I can watch a lot more of this. I can watch
and what you
hours
see,
and hours
you
more.
see the creative process of how they write songs, but you also see that they're very close, like family. So you get a lot of intimate arguments at times. You get joyful moments where they're happy and celebrating. So you get all these emotions because they're so close.
Yeah.
Working a creative process to writing songs. So it's great for any Beatles fan.
I want to see if we can find any promotional material on YouTube for the film. Like, there's got to be Paul McCartney interviews. There's got to be stuff on YouTube for us to watch.
Right.
I'm obsessed in this moment with Get Back. I'm obsessed. I want to watch it all over again.
We want to get back to watching it. Also, your fans live. Have you told them to go over to YouTube?
Yeah, it's in the topic. They
Okay.
know.
Okay, good.
So now
good.
we have to get back to superheroes.
All right.
Get back to superheroes. Okay. We have Squid Gamey G62 who says Azrael Batman.
Azrael.
I thought it was Azrael.
It's Azrael.
Oh.
Maybe that's a
Azrael
Canadian
Batman.
thing. You guys say Zed.
Azrael, maybe. Azrael Batman versus Taskmaster 616. Who wins?
Do you know what 616 means there?
I don't.
It means that's the dimension the Marvel Universe lives in. There's like thousands of dimensions, and they live in the 616th version.
I'm learning so many things. I thought I knew about superheroes until I hung out with you, and I was like, oh my God, I don't know anything.
That's right. You don't know
Your knowledge is vast.
Man, there's a lot of things that I don't know how to do, too. But I almost would say Taskmaster would win that one. I think Taskmaster would beat Azrael. I think Azrael's just too reckless, and that's why he eventually was not Batman anymore. Bruce Wayne kind of let him go, and he went crazy, and he eventually fell apart. I would say Taskmaster, but yes, the 616 version, not the movie version. So thank you for clarifying that, and I agree with you in your specific question. 616 Taskmaster.
So we have Dude Fam and Friends.
What's up, Dude Fam?
I gotta write it down again because it's a big
Fam and Friends
a big one.
back.
Thank you, dude. You are killing it. Thank
All
you.
right.
We super appreciate you. He says, "Here, my Joker. Love your things though. Superpower Beatdown was a great thing to get into. Let's see more beatdowns."
Well, we're working on bringing, because we've been working on Legend of the White Dragon, and we did Dying is Easy. And we are now creating and choosing the battles that we want to bring back for the newest season of Beatdown. We're going to be launching an Indiegogo next year, the beginning of next year, where we're going to hopefully raise enough money to do 5 more Beatdowns. And it's going to be the 10th anniversary of Beatdown. Can you believe that? Beatdown's been going for 10 years. Don't you get that Sharpie on my Beatles shirt.
I won't, I promise.
We're going to be bringing it back, and we want to do Superman vs. Goku. That's going to be at the $500,000 tier. We want to maybe do Raphael or Robin versus, we want to do Raphael versus either Robin or Daredevil. We want to do possibly Predator versus the Mandalorian. We want to do John Wick versus Punisher. And we want to do animated battles of Spawn versus Ghost Rider and Batman versus Green Ranger. We also want to do a live action Batman. Maybe Batman versus Spawn or Batman versus Shredder. We're not sure yet. We're still trying to figure it out. But we're excited for them to come back. And Vera Bambi here will be the host. And if you haven't, if you're not unfamiliar with Vera Bambi, you should go follow her on Instagram. I think it's just at Vera Bambi Live.
At Vera Bambi Live. That is correct.
And then you can make suggestions and questions and what we should do next?
VERABAMBILIVE.
Yeah.
LIVE.
Ivy. It says Ivy in your name.
IVE. Christopher O'Toole says, here's one crazy beatdown fight. Who would win between Deadpool versus, I can't believe I'm going to say this, freaking Earthworm Jim?
Interesting. I'm trying to figure out how that battle would play. It would almost be like Deadpool is playing Earthworm Jim, the video game, and somehow Deadpool gets sucked into the video game because the Mojo world is a part of it. I would say that Deadpool would win. I think a more actual appropriate character for Earthworm Jim to fight is Freakazoid. Both ridiculous characters of the 90s. Although Deadpool's of the 90s, he didn't become more ridiculous until later in the 90s or the early 2000s. When Deadpool was first created, he did not really break the fourth wall and was not super silly, if you didn't know that. I would say Deadpool still, but I would like to see Earthworm Jim versus Freakazoid.
That's a fun one. Thank you, Christopher. Now we have Chad Marsh. Thank you, Chad.
What's up, Chad?
Who says Jason Todd versus Azrael.
Azrael,
sorry. Isn't that the same concept, different character?
It is very similar. I feel like they tried that character twice, and they got it right with Red Hood because he's already in the family, which is why Batman tolerates his reckless behavior, whereas Azrael, Jean Paul Valley is his name, which is also a silly name. That name doesn't even sound cool. He sounds like he's in the Hall of Fame for male volleyball, you know? Doesn't that name what that sound like? I would say Red Hood would win. Red Hood's just cooler. Also, Jean Paul Valley is inhabited by the ghost of Saint Dumas, which is so silly. I can't believe I remembered that. Man, sometimes I surprise myself with how nerdy I have all this knowledge in my brain. I don't know how to make toast, but I know who possesses Azrael. I know how to make toast. I don't know how to bake toast, though. I just can use the toaster.
You do not know how to butter toast.
I know how to butter toast. I just hate buttering toast.
If we go to restaurants, he always asks, can you butter the toast? Do you butter the toast here?
The reason why is because...
I agree.
Two things. When it comes out of the toaster, it melts better and it gets absorbed into the bread better. And secondly, if they give you the little packs, you got to open it. Butter gets and it's so hard. You have to, the only way to get butter off your hands, you have to really like soap it and wash it off. And for the rest of the meal, my hands smell like butter, and then the plate has butter on it.
Why are there restaurants that don't butter toast? Why is that like a thing?
It's like a thing. It's cantankerous.
When my toast comes out of the toaster, the butter goes immediately on within seconds. I am standing at the toaster in my kitchen.
That's a word you don't hear as much anymore. Contactless. Which is just a stupid sounding word. Probably is the #1 worst sounding stupid word ever. Contactless.
It sounds like cactus, which is something that you don't want to come in contact with. So all cactuses are contactless. Because if you touch a cactus, it hurts you. So, basically...
The contactless cactus. That's a tongue twister.
A contactless cactus. But that's a double entendre because all cactuses are contactless.
And breathe.
I know, it's too much.
So that's why they don't butter toast, because I think it's to do with COVID and everything.
So if you open up my fridge, I don't have butter. I can't believe it's not butter.
Spray butter.
Which by the way,
it's pretty good.
It's great, but it doesn't, like, bread sits like this on the counter, and when you tilt like this, you have to hold it like this. So now whatever's behind it is getting butter on it. So we still haven't solved this butter problem yet.
We're still figuring out the butter.
We can put a man on the moon, but we can't butter toast right.
You spray that shoots down.
Yeah, like it's like the ketchup bottle being upside down. They didn't do that until 20 years ago. That means we had been going to the moon regularly for 40 years until someone was like, maybe if we put the ketchup bottle upside down, we could get it out quicker.
All right. We got Braden Doak who says, and I have a comment. Who is your favorite Robin and villain? No Joker. I love that you said no Joker, as if the Joker is like the Beatles in the conversation of like, you can't include because we already know it's going to be Joker. So let's take Joker off the table. Who's your favorite Robin and who's your favorite villain? My favorite villain is Poison Ivy and my favorite Robin is Damian Wayne. Go.
Dick Grayson, favorite Robin, obviously. Favorite villain? God, there's a lot of really good ones. I love the psychology of Harvey Dent, which is not explored enough. I really like Freeze, although he tends to get a
Love
little
Freeze.
too super villainy sometimes for me. I like. I probably have to go with Harvey Dent. They just don't ever do him correctly, though. Or he's very he's never really fleshed out as much as he should be.
Put them in order of most entertaining villain: Freeze, Scarecrow, Harvey Dent.
Entertaining.
Entertaining.
Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it just depends how they're portrayed. They go either way on that. I think they're all pretty.
You got to put them in order.
I mean, I think
That's what we're doing
You
here.
can do more with Scarecrow. I think Two-Face is a little more, and Freeze is very cold. Who's your favorite villain, Dad, and favorite Robin?
Favorite villain of all time?
Oh, in Batman's world. That's not Joker.
Love this, Braden. Thank you.
Without a doubt, it's
Is it?
well, I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say. Kurt Langstrom.
It's Man-Bat or Catwoman.
Is Catwoman
Ooh.
a villain? All right.
Catwoman's a villain.
Not a bad
Yeah.
choice. Not a bad choice.
She's more of a villain than an anti-hero.
Catwoman is just
No.
traditionally.
Yeah.
Catwoman is just traditionally Batman's equal counterpart.
A little bit. No one said the Riddler, which is interesting.
The Riddler is
He's gonna be cool in the new movie.
he's cool, but he
He's gonna
can
be cool in the
be
movie.
boring. I feel like you guys could make Riddler a lot cooler than he has been portrayed.
If we get
so
Doug Jones
far.
back in under,
Ooh,
as
Doug Jones is the Riddler.
I'd love to do Freeze though. Freeze would be really cool to do.
Freeze would be. I would love to see.
Shout
Freeze.
out to Doug.
Doug.
Shout out to Doug Jones. All right, we got Red Buick. Thank you, Red Buick, who says Batman and REO Speedwagon versus Iceman and Toto.
Okay, so
REO Speedwagon,
first of all,
Batman and REO Speedwagon versus Iceman and
so
Toto.
let's just break this up. Batman versus Bobby Drake, Iceman. Batman would definitely have to win. Although Justice League Batman would win, Detective Batman would lose. By the way, Iceman is an super OP'd Iceman character or mutant, who I really, really like. But we're Speedwagon versus Toto.
Speedwagon versus Toto.
Yeah, who would win that one?
That's an even match. I prefer Toto. The Rains in Africa, that song.
And Love Isn't Always on Time.
Yeah.
Love isn't always on time. All right.
All right, Christopher O'Torres says, here's another interesting fight. Who would win between All Might versus the Tick?
Oh, All Might would be All Might's way powerful. But I enjoy me some Patrick Warburton as the Tick, or Warburton as the Tick. That's a fun show. I enjoyed watching it. I liked it. I would rather watch a TV show on the Tick than All Might, but All Might would win though. But they're both ridiculous looking, and they both have weird things on the top of their head.
The Tick wins the entertainment fight.
Entertaining fight. Entertainment goes a long way. That's why Deadpool's
Goes
movie
a
makes so
long
much money.
way. All right, Josh Black. Thank you, Josh. Says Blade
What's up, Josh?
versus Batman.
So I asked this in the chat today. I asked
Our
fans
boy,
today.
Josh.
Now I ask fans all the time who they think who should win and who they want to see and all these things. And it varies. Like I'll ask one day, who do you want to see, Captain America, Batman, or Captain America, Shredder, or Spawn? And they'll be like, Spawn. And the next day, Captain America, and then Shredder. Although I think Shredder's won that fight the most. But anyways, I asked today those three plus Blade, and Blade won the vote. We had more votes for Blade than Shredder, Spawn, or Captain America, although they were all pretty close, though. Spawn being the lesser of the four. Shredder being the second most, I think.
What?
I know. Who would you guys rather see Batman fight? In capital letters, type Spawn, Captain America, Blade, or Shredder. Who would you want to see Batman fight? Capital letters, put it on the board, and I'll read them out loud.
Spawn, Blade, Captain America, and Shredder.
Yes. And yes, for those who ask, who's that off camera? That is my father, Sean, who is
Boss Pops.
Boss Pops, who was the
the
first
boss.
person to ever dress up as Darth Vader.
Here I am. I'm on
He's
screen
the
now.
music man.
He does all the
of
music.
channel.
The man who has boxed with Muhammad Ali, shook Paul McCartney's hand, and gazed in the eyes of Vince Lombardi.
Yes. Wow. Did I
love
really?
that. Yeah. Who also was,
I have a lot of stories of great moments.
who also was the first person ever to dress up as first fan ever to dress up as Darth Vader, which was sanctioned and confirmed by StarWars.com.
Luke, I am your father.
There you go.
All right,
No,
we've got David
Aaron.
Sampson who says, "Hey guys, any chance of Kevin one day playing the Batman Who Laughs in a future video? I think that'd be cool. Also, Miles Morales Spider-Man versus Static."
Okay, so a few things. One, I know that the weird thing is that everyone wants me to play the Batman Who Laughs.
But he's suggesting Kevin.
Right, because technically it actually should be Kevin, because it should actually be the Batman. There you go. But I don't think Kevin has the smile. Oh, very good.
We gotta get you a chair over here.
Or the craziness.
You should grab the stool.
To do that, you should have. He would be Flashpoint Batman, and I would be the Batman Who Laughs. But you are correct in what you're saying. And then David also. Oh, there he goes. Just darted out of there.
You took George from us. Give us George back.
George Hernandez, and then also Miles Morales versus Static Shock. I think it's a great battle. I think that Spider-Man Miles would do. Actually, I talked with Batch about that. I said, Batch, you should play Static for Miles Morales. I know.
Batch would be a great Miles.
All of you guys reach out to Batch, King Batch, a friend of ours,
Miles.
he's in Legend of the White Dragon. But
excited.
Reach out to him and tell him, hey, go be in Superpower Beatdown.
He'd be great.
It'd be a lot of fun. It'd be great. We talked about it before.
Charisma and
but would he be
everything
Miles or would he be
I'd put him as Miles.
Shock? Yeah.
I'd put him as Miles.
All right.
He'd be really fun.
All right.
Okay. I already read that. Sorry.
Jeez. Not reading your
Going
cue
to the
cards.
next one. Oh my gosh. The chat is lit. Okay,
Lit.
George.
George is back.
Right here. George Hernandez says, would you put Kevin Nash as Super Shredder if you could to make up for the last time he did?
I would not do that. I know he was Super Shredder. I would want to be true to Shredder's heritage. Oroku Saki, who obviously is of Asian descent. And if we did Shredder on the Beatdown, I would either want. I just actually spoke with Yoshi Sudarso today, actually, was seeing if he was interested. And he was like, let me see the script. Let me see it. He was all into it. So I'd either want to have Yoshi or, of course, have Peter Jang, who has been in a ton of our videos. You would recognize Peter from being Ryu or Scorpion or a bunch of other things.
Killmonger.
No, that was Marquette King.
Oh, no,
But Peter helped and did some of the doubling stunts for the more crazy fighting stuff. But I think Peter or Yoshi would be amazing. They're both great fighters, and they're both of the correct heritage. But I know Peter also wants to be the turtle. So if Peter was Raphael, then maybe Yoshi would be Shredder. So I wouldn't use Kevin Nash. Although I think featuring Super Shredder would be awesome, though. But maybe he uses Bane's venom and he injects himself. Would be pretty good. Did you guys enjoy the Batman Ninja Turtle animation? I heard it was pretty silly and corny. Did you guys like it or dislike it? Let me know if you liked it.
See it?
I've been waiting to watch it with you two. I want to sit down and watch it to see if it's, But I heard it's really corny, though.
All right, you take a minute to read chat because I'm just going to do some little chat room work here for a second.
Chat room work. All right, I'm going to read the guys. Here you go, guys. I'm going to read. I asked the question, who should Batman fight? Spawn or Shredder or Blade? I'm going to go down the list here. Here we go. Are we ready for this?
Yep.
All right, here we go. Spawn, Cap, Shredder, Spawn, Blade, Spawn, Blade, Spawn. 89 Batman versus 90 Shredder. You know I love that one. Blade, Spawn, Blade, Shredder, Spawn, Blade, Spawn, Shredder, Spawn, Shredder, Blade, Spawn, Shredder, Blade, Shredder, Blade, Spawn, Spawn, and Spawn. Who won that one?
Like a three-way tie to me.
I think Spawn barely won that one. God, I don't know. I tell you who didn't get any votes was Captain America.
Not one.
He got like one or two. He did not get a lot. But man, I like Spawn better. Spawn scares me though in terms of just budget, But Shredder, I think, would also be just cool hand to hand, like straight up hand to hand. Would you guys use Shredder's alien armor or would you use his ancient armor? Let me know what you guys think. Oh man, they're still going down the list here. They're still going down the list of who they think. They say Spawn, 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 Blade, 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 Spawn, Spawn, Blade, Shredder, Shredder, Splinter, Shredder, Spawn, Spawn, Blade, Shredder, Spawn, Blade, Shredder, Shredder, Blade, Spawn. Man, that's pretty cool. They want ancient armor, not alien armor. I like it. I'd want to go ancient armor as well. I really am. I like Shredder. I like the Shredder Batman as a continuation of Robin and Raphael. I like that whole arc. I also like that it's just because see, guys, if we did Shredder versus Batman, I think because see the tier at $25,000 tier, we would do 2 animated battles. At 50,000, we would do Punisher and John Wick, and then at like 125,000, we would do the Raphael versus Robin because Raph's outfit is crazy expensive, and then like at like 225, we could then do Batman versus Shredder. But if you want to do Batman versus Spawn, instead of that limit being 225, it'd have to be like 350. The budget would literally have to be doubled. Because
so that 350 all goes to the Spawn Batman.
No, it goes to all of them.
So it's a continuation.
It's a continuation. You are unlocking each level.
So each level's unlocked.
Yeah. So I'm just saying is that Spawn versus Batman would be double the budget of Shredder versus Batman.
So that means you'd be doing 5 beatdowns.
Yeah, we're gonna do 5, and then you have Superman Goku. And then I joke and I say the $1 million tier is if we hit $1 million, we would do the X-Men versus the Justice League. I don't think we'll hit that, but let's put it up there. You never know. I would love to do the X-Men and the Justice League. Oh boy. But we would need the $500,000 to do that though. Anyways, there's a few super chats here that have hit back up on the board. Let me grab them here. We have Braden, sorry. It says, out of the big villains, who's your least favorite? Big villains, like Batman villains, my least favorite. I think that some of the more effects-driven Batman characters are kind of silly. Clayface. I wrote a really cool story with Clayface, though, but I think that's just not Detective Batman because we don't have the giant clay monsters in real life. But I think he's kind of cool if you use him right. But I would go Clayface. My dad said Clayface. I say Clayface. I think when Killer Croc looks like a giant crocodile like he did in Hush, I think that's really silly. I like it where he's just more like has like a skin problem and maybe he had some surgery to make his face look more alligator. But I'm not a big fan of him when he looks like a crocodile. Christopher Torres. Christopher, where are you on here, Christopher? Vera. We have a Christopher Torres.
Thank you. Sorry, I was just.
He says last one for the night. P.S. Thank you, Aaron, as always. Much appreciate that, Christopher. Also, thank you to Vera and my dad over here.
Okay, I am back.
Which superhero team would win this battle? The Eternals or the Legion of Superheroes? Keep doing the awesome beatdowns as always, Aaron. Thank you, Christopher. I appreciate that. That's a great question. God, I would almost say that the Legion of Superheroes just because of Saturn Girl, Superboy, and Brainiac 5. They're just really powerful. And there's so many more. I would go with the Legion of Superheroes over the Eternals. Even though the Eternals are very powerful, I'm not disagreeing with that. I would say the Legion of Superheroes, although the Legion of Superheroes are all very young, though. They're more like teenagers or young 20s, where the Eternals are older, so maybe they're wiser. So maybe you would give it to the Eternals. I don't know, Christopher. You've put me at a crossroads.
Oh, Christopher is going to take this spot right here in the center.
Right in the center.
Right in the center.
The arc reactor of my chest. All right, so yeah, it's tough. I go either way on that. I'd almost still give it to the Legion of Superheroes just because they have Superboy, a Kryptonian on their team. Dad, did you read much of Legion of Superheroes back when you were a kid, or much Superboy?
No, I didn't get into that.
That was like back in the 50s, and then they came back like in the 80s.
Yeah.
Because you didn't read a lot of Superboy.
No, but I got into the Justice Society though.
Okay, which I think is cooler than the Legion of Superheroes.
All right, next we have Joshua Lee, who says Batman vs. TMNT was good. Yes, very silly, but just fun. How about Batman vs. Howard the Duck?
We go Batman. Batman would be Howard the Duck. He would just bring out some breadcrumbs, and Howard would get all distracted. Little does he know, the breadcrumbs are laced with Scarecrow's fear toxin. And now Howard the Duck is all freaked out.
Thank you, Joshua.
Howard the Duck is really powerful if you really actually know his powers, and he would beat Detective Batman because basically, here's a great question, and here's a real question to show you the level and power of Howard the Duck. He is more equivalent to Mr. Mxyzptlk, which Detective Batman would definitely lose to, but Justice League Batman has beaten, I think, Mr. Mxyzptlk. Also, Howard the Duck is comparable to Batmite. These are all these really weird, obscure characters that I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. But I think that Detective Batman loses to Howard the Duck because Batman deals in a realistic world, and I can't think of anything more unrealistic than a duck who's able to wield magic. I mean, really, that's about as crazy as you can get. So yes, that's what I would go with that one.
Okay.
Yeah, a man dressed as a bat swings around on a grappling hook around. That's real.
It's not real, but I feel it's more realistic than a quacker.
A quacker.
Being a sorcerer.
Oh, I see. One cartoon is more realistic than another cartoon.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Don't you know the laws of reality?
Don't you know the laws? Don't you know the laws of fakeness?
Duh.
Oh, so one fake character is more realistic than another fake character.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Duh.
In an insane world, it may be the sanest choice.
All right, Squid Game EG62. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says Shredder, ancient armor, or blade. Also, John Constantine, Earth Prime, versus Stephen Strange, 616.
Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange would beat Constantine for sure, I think. While Constantine is very powerful, and you rarely get to see how powerful he is, except for when he's with the Justice League Dark, hanging out with Etrigan, Swamp Thing, Zatanna, and Deadman. You're familiar. You've read some Deadman comics.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the Brave and the Bold in the 70s.
That was when Deadman was popular, most popular.
I know, along with the Creeper. I still think Doctor Strange is hella powerful. The Wizard Magazine, remember Wizard Magazine, back in the late 90s, they said the Doctor Strange is in the top 10 most powerful Earthbound characters. And I would agree with that. And when you guys watch Spider-Man No Way Home, you will see that. So I would go with Doctor Strange. And as far as Shredder versus Blade, that one's a good one. I think that's a good one.
You mentioned that yesterday.
Yeah, I think that could go either way. I don't know.
I could go either way.
I think that's pretty good. I love Shredder. Guys, here's the thing is, I really like Blade. I saw the movie like 5 times in the theaters. But I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Shredder.
I have the poster there.
You are here because the outside world rejects you. This is your family.
How would you do the Shredder?
I would take off what kind of the 90s Shredder had, but I'd make him just more badass. Maybe update the suit a little bit.
Would you add any like mechanical elements?
No, but I'd have him have more weapons though. He should have more weapons. Shredder would be cool to redo. I know Derek Theater would be all excited.
I would give him a can of turtle repellent. And he would shake it like a spray can. Spray paint.
Like Batman's shark repellent?
Exactly.
Now, at what point did we lose control here? Maybe someone should tell him that we're the good guys.
All right, we got Arctic Fox here. Thank you.
I want to watch that
Fox.
movie. I love that movie. Sorry.
Arctic Fox. Thank you, Arctic
Thank
Fox.
you, Trinity. That's her real name, if you didn't know that.
Oh, good to know. Who says, what about Black Lantern, Batman versus Spawn?
Okay. That's what I want to do. That's the number one thing I want to do is Batman with the yellow lantern ring, the fear lantern ring, because basically Batman has to fight Spawn, and he does a little recon beforehand. He either talks to Constantine or Zatanna, who explain the whole Hell Spawn thing, and Batman figures out a dead zone, which nullifies Spawn's powers, which I think would be in Crime Alleyway. And then when Spawn realizes the trap that he's walked into, he would get out of there and use his full necroplasm Hell Spawn ability, but then Batman would pull out the yellow lantern ring and recite the fear oath, and also turn into the yellow Batman lantern ring, and him and Spawn would go at it. That's the beatdown I want to do, but it would be like $300,000 or $250,000. But dang it!
So get in here with your super chat.
When we do Indiegogo, I want that
have a spare
beatdown.
$250,000.
Yeah, if any of you have that just laying around and want to watch Spawn and Batman go at it, please. Let us know.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know, guys. I like Batman vs. Spawn more, but I think Batman vs. Shredder is very cool because I like Shredder. And I don't know if I like Spawn more than Shredder. I think I like Shredder more because it's one of my favorite movies.
Ooh, our boy Josh Black is in here with another super
All right, guys. So we got about
chat.
10 minutes left here, and then we got a bouncy bounce.
Or as long as you guys hold us hostage.
Okay, or that.
I'm writing the rules now.
Oh, she took over.
All right, Josh Black
She took
says,
over.
real fast.
We're in trouble now.
We're in trouble now. Someone took control of the wheel.
Batman versus these three separately.
Okay.
Kevin Wendell Crumb and Mr. Glass, Unbreakable movie series. Sub-Zero, Mortal Kombat. Jim Raynor, StarCraft.
I was writing them all down so I didn't forget them. I love Batman, Detective Batman against Mr. Glass. I think that's a really cool one. I think Batman inevitably would still win though. But I think that one that would be my most watched one because you have two detectives going at each other. Batman vs. Sub-Zero, you'd have to use Justice League Batman, who they have fought when they did DC versus Mortal Kombat. But Batman and the Justice League would win just because he deals with much more powerful characters, although Detective Batman would lose. And then Jim Raynor from StarCraft, I think both Batmans could beat him, actually. I think both Batmans could beat him. I like that one, though. My favorite in that is Mr. Glass versus Detective Batman, though. You know.
Cool. All right. We've got Braden Doak. Last one is there a Robin or Nightwing in your universe? Dying is easy. If so, how many and who would you want to play them?
So I would love. Okay, here's the thing. I would love to introduce a Robin. I've written so many short stories. You guys, if you gave us $5 million, we could make so many Batman stories right now, ready to go. I would love to introduce a Robin into it. I think that'd be really cool. The Robin I would introduce would not be Dick Grayson. It would be Tim Drake. I would like to show the Red Hood. I have a bunch of Red Hood stories that we've written. And who would I have be Nightwing? Normally in the Beatdowns, I play Nightwing, but I think it'd be weird if I was Nightwing and Joker, right? Isn't that weird? Or is there enough of a differentiate whatever between when I'm 140 pounds as the Joker and when I'm 180 pounds as Nightwing and I'm not wearing all the makeup and my hair's longer?
How would you film that?
Well, they couldn't be in the same scene.
You have to film that months apart.
I would love to do that. Have like basically
That's
Joker,
pretty cool.
have like Joker have Nightwing tied up and he's interrogating him, and you have to film it where it's two different things, and I have to lose 40 pounds in between.
I think it'd be cool just to see a film of just you as Joker and Nightwing.
That'd be pretty crazy, and I'm all beat up.
You have to film that months apart.
And I'd have to be like, I'm like jacked, and all beat up, but then all of a sudden as Joker, I'm all like skinny and lanky. That'd be kind of fun. That would be quite an ordeal. If I were to go to that much work, though, I'd probably want it to be an original film.
That's like Christian Bale in The Mechanic.
Machinist.
Yeah.
It looks like it's spelled
The Mechanic.
Yeah.
Okay, so tomato.
But I don't think I could play. Could I play? Would you want me to play Dick Grayson? I think Yoshi Sudarsu would be a good. And because he even doubled me as when we did Nightwing before. He did some of the flipping. He's much more flippy than I am. I can't do that stuff.
All right, I think we're coming to a close here. So I'm going to quickly do a lightning round. Lightning round is when I scroll through the chat room and I see your guys' versus requests or
another one popped in there.
Oh, let me get this super chat. Joshua Lee. We should take a photo with all of these on and post this on your Twitter.
Let's do it. I have a Twitter.
This is pretty epic.
Oh, she has her phone right there. She has it ready to go.
Mine is streaming.
Oh.
We'll do it after we sign off.
Okay.
And once we have all the names all over us, then we'll do it.
All right.
I'm the stream director.
She knows everything. I'm just a guest host on the show.
I make it easy so he can focus on directing his films. I help with the stream. That's my job now. I've taken over. All right. Joshua Lee says Batman versus the Shadow in noir era costumes. Your thoughts?
Cranston. What is the Shadow's name? This makes me mad. The Shadow's real name. Try
not to knock these names off, okay?
Okay.
Because this is pretty epic.
He has two real names. So Cranston is one, and then he's also, but his real name is Kent Allard, but Cranston. What is his first name though? Anyways, I really enjoyed the Alec Baldwin film. I think Batman vs. the Shadow is very cool in like a noir, like 1930s setting. I think that'd be a really cool one. I really like the Shadow. You can use like the Phantom in there, and then even bring up Sherlock Holmes, and maybe they all team up to go after Jack the Ripper. I think there's a lot of cool stuff you could kind of throw in there. I still think Batman would win, but the Shadow has powers though, so the Shadow could maybe beat like a 1939 Bob Kane, Bill Finger influence Batman though. Justice League Batman would wreck him, but I think they just recently did, by the way, a Shadow and Batman crossover about a year and a half ago, which if you haven't read it, the artwork's very cool. I would definitely check it out. It's definitely worth checking out. Thank you for that super chat. What was his name?
That was Joshua Lee.
Joshua Lee.
I should have known that because I literally just wrote it down.
Joshua.
I literally just wrote it down.
Joshua.
All right. Arctic Fox.
What, he doesn't like Josh? No, I don't like Josh. That's the Rachel Green quote. She doesn't like when Ross calls her crush Joshua. Joshua.
Joshua.
Joshua. We'll go to dinner. You'll be wearing that. We'll go to dinner and you'll be wearing that. That's what Joshua's dad tells Rachel Green when she slips out in her nightie and it tries to play it off like she's not trying to seduce her son. Anyways, that was a Friends reference.
Detective Batman versus Grand Admiral Thrawn. Thank you, Arctic Fox.
Trinity, who is that? You stumped me. I gotta see this picture of this. Hold on, I'm gonna look at this picture. Grand Admiral Thrawn. Oh, okay, I know. It's from Star Wars. Yeah. Well, what does he have at his disposal? Because he lives in a world where there's like hyper, like crazy powers. They have all like they have weapons that can defeat, the Sith. So I think that Detective Batman would lose. Justice League Batman would beat him. Thank you. I think Thrawn versus thanks. I think Detective Batman would lose Trinity. I think he would definitely lose. I think Justice League Batman would win though, and is more interesting. It'd be interesting. I don't think he has a whole fleet at his disposal though, so like I think Batman could have a hard time kind of get through all that.
Next we got Squid Gammy G62, who says, "Last one from me."
All right.
White Lantern Taskmaster versus Nightwing with symbiote. Sorry for spelling.
Okay, you're combining
Nightwing with the symbiote.
So real quick here.
Whew.
White Lantern Taskmaster would wreck Nightwing with the symbiote because because Taskmaster. Well, first of all, just Taskmaster's a great fighter, and he's a better fighter than Nightwing is. Nightwing's probably a little more cerebral, where Taskmaster is more of like a machine in the way he executes his missions. So I think that Dick Grayson versus Taskmaster is a great fight, but the White Lantern is basically it's a lantern ring. It's just a different color, so it draws its power from a different way from Hope. But the wouldn't you agree, Dad, that the Green Lantern ring is way more powerful than the symbiote?
Oh, by far.
By far. So I think
close.
Yeah. So I think that the White Lantern would wreck him.
The Green Lantern ring is like more powerful than like a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Or a force.
Yeah, I agree. So I think if you have a lantern ring, which is why if Batman got the yellow lantern ring in that fear, he could take on Spawn.
So when Green Lantern does his thing with the ring,
that
energy, what is that?
It's its energy. It's basically just like it's.
What can he do with it? Sorry, that was a better question.
He can make. Crazy thing is he can make any shape with it.
Okay.
He can form any solid
does it become a solid?
Yeah, it becomes a solid. Essentially, it's energy.
Can it not be a solid? Can it go through things and then become solid?
Kind of, yeah.
And that's more powerful than were you saying
the symbiote.
A symbiote?
Or a lightsaber, yeah, all those things, yeah.
It's more powerful than a symbiote.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Put it this way: when Hal Jordan, who is the main Earth Green Lantern, went crazy and went around and killed like 30 Green Lanterns and merged all the Green Lantern rings in the world, that was enough power for him to grab Earth and push it into the sun. He was able to move a planet basically with how powerful all the Lantern rings are combined.
Okay.
So, which Batman went up and threatened him with no powers. He just walked up to Hal and was like, "End this or I will end you." Which then I think Superman grabbed Batman and was like, "What are you doing?"
All right, so
he broke his arms. Who broke whose arms?
Yeah, I forget that one. I forget that story. Who did break Superman? Yeah, Batman.
I think Green Lantern
broke
Batman's arms.
It might have been. Yeah, I forget what it was. God, Yuri would know. Yuri would know. We gotta get Yuri on the show.
You gotta get Yuri. You always mention Yuri.
Would love
you gotta
Yuri.
get him on the show.
All right, we gotta get him on.
I'm just gonna take a quick note and let everybody know when we are done streaming, I'm gonna take a photo of us with all these names on us because this has been an incredible live stream. Thank you so much. And we're gonna post that on the Bat in the Sun Twitter. That is, yeah, we're gonna post it on your Twitter. Yeah. Well, also, should we post it on your Instagram as well?
Post it on our Facebook, that's for sure.
Facebook for sure.
And we'll post maybe on our Instagram. Definitely Instagram
so make
stories.
sure that you're following across the board. It's always at Bat in the Sun. We're going to post that. That being said, this is your last opportunity to get in on this because we are closing out the chat in just a moment.
So if you want
your name in the photo, jump in there ASAP right now. Chop, chop. Choppity, chop, 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 choppity, chop, chop.
Who we got on there? All right,
next we got Web Fox who says, who would win? Batman versus Megatron from Transformers. But Megatron transformers into the gun that killed Batman's parents.
That's pretty cool. That's really cool. That'd be a great crossover.
Look, he just got all dreamy in the eyes. He's like, oh.
That's such a weird idea.
Neat. I mean, what an idea.
It's really dumb that Megatron, this giant thing, can like transform into a gun.
Web Fox with the creativity over here.
But also, he's not. Also, Megatron isn't supposed to be a gun that a human holds. He's supposed to be a gun that, like, a transformer that's like a mat. You know, because Optimus Prime, is like 40 feet tall.
He couldn't technically go that small.
No, but the idea, if Batman found out that Megatron was the gun that killed his parents, is like a really cool, super dorky, but awesome idea, though. So, like, for that reason alone, I think that's super cool. That might be one of the coolest, uniquest thing that you. Web Fox. You got something there.
You got Aaron with that one.
Kid, you're gonna go far.
You're gonna go far, see?
You see, down by the races. You gotta get down on the bars. Get down to the chain tracks. You see, with 22 toes.
With 22 toes.
He used to have 5 toes, but he's still a little too close to the train tracks. Now he's got 2 of them.
We got Brian Bell on one of your shoulders. We're gonna get him on the other one, so he's
get a little balance.
Because he's next. He says Eric Abraham versus Batman. How bad does Batman lose? How bad does Batman lose?
Eric Abraham, that's the name of our DP who shot
director
who's that's what I thought. Why is it Eric Abraham?
So then it'd be like, who's Eric Abraham?
He's your DP.
I know. You know what? And I went to this is the greatest thing. I went to Google and I was like, what character is this? And you know the first thing that came up? Eric standing next to Batman. So, like, literally, like...
All right, these two, they get in a fight. They get in a little tussle.
Eric Abraham's our DP.
How bad? I'm going to move dude right here so that Brian can have... Oh, look, dude on dude. Here we go. So that Brian can have some symmetry on both of your shoulders. I don't know if I want
a dude on my chest here. What's going on here?
Look, dude. I
got too many dudes on my chest.
There's a lot of dudes on your chest.
That sounds weird.
And we got Brian Bell on your shoulders.
Okay, we need to ease up on this here. I'm a little uncomfortable with this higher level of comfort. Eric Abraham, are you talking about our DP, or is that like, are you talking code to us? Because
let's just pretend that he is.
Well, Kevin Porter would definitely.
Because he wrote it Aric, like ARIC.
I know, that's who he's talking about, who I'm going to see this Saturday at the convention.
Who is Brian Bell?
I know.
We know Brian
hopefully,
Bell.
Also, guys, if you want to meet Eric Abraham and all of us, we're going to be at the LA Comic-Con this Saturday, December 4th. We have a panel where we're going to be screening Dying is Easy, our first public screening of the film. And Vera will be there, I will be there, Kevin will be there, my dad will be there, so many people. Also, JDF will be there.
So come meet us.
And we'll be showing the White Dragon trailer. 11:30 a.m., room 406 AB this Saturday at LA Comic-Con.
The trailer.
It looks so good. It looks so good.
Oh, you guys just wait. The Legend of the White Dragon. All right, next we've got Chad Marsh, who says, found a good one by chat. Dick Grayson versus Taskmaster.
That's what someone was saying before. I think it's a pretty equal fight. I think that Dick Grayson actually would probably lose actually right off the bat. He needed a little prep time. But I think though that Dick combines Bruce's fighting style with his trapeze background in such an interesting fighting style that I think Taskmaster at first would be caught off guard and would have a hard time catching up. So hopefully Dick Grayson could beat him before Taskmaster could end up basically mimicking his fighting ability. So he'd have a small window. Otherwise, Taskmaster is going to take it.
Thank you for that one, Chad. Now we've got Squid Gamey again.
What's up,
Agreed. Just trying to think of a MacGuffin, but also the photographic memory with the ability to create whatever is a potent combo.
Yes, agreed. Just trying to create a MacGuffin, but also the photographic memory. Yeah, I agree. It's funny is that go back up real quicker. Scroll up just a little bit.
To Squid Game?
No. What's funny is the Squid Game. He also suggested the symbiote. And Chad also suggested Dick Grayson versus Taskmaster without the symbiote or without the lantern ring. And now he's talking about this. They're almost debating the same fight when they don't even know they're doing that.
That's funny.
Right. So that's what I said. I think that what I just kind of said, I think that Dick Grayson could take it, but he'd have to do it really quick. Otherwise, Taskmaster will catch on and Taskmaster would win.
All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Are we caught up? Are we all good?
We are all caught up, and that is a wrap.
All right. Do your quick lightning round. If anyone has
Okay,
any
we're going to do a quick lightning round.
For
so
1 minute.
If you guys have
Just
some
one
stuff
word
you want to
answers.
versus, throw them in the chat. You can do movie versus. You can do superhero versus.
Quick.
Whatever.
Go.
Just throw down your
just roll.
something v
Go.
something, and I'm going to read them.
You can
Okay.
scroll through the chat. Ready? Go. Quick.
Okay, Aaron, are you ready?
Go.
Here we go. Red Zero Ranger versus Captain America from Cole. Thank you, Cole.
Hold on. Do it again.
Red Zero Ranger versus Captain America.
Captain America, unless he can use the Zord.
Reverse Flash versus Goku Black.
Goku Black, he's just more dense. If you ever got a hold of Reverse Flash, he would wreck him.
Batman versus Reed Richards.
In a mental, Reed Richards scientifically is 1,000 times more smart. That's not an actual smart sentence. But I think that Bruce Wayne, as far as strategy, is a much better intellect when it comes to strategy. If they were to play chess, Bruce Wayne would wreck Reed Richards.
Reverse Flash versus Goku Black.
You already asked that.
Oh, I did. Sorry.
You just
I
literally
just read that
literally
right
just
now.
read
Sorry.
that.
Mando Luke versus Rot's Anakin. Sorry.
For what?
I'm a genius.
Mandalorian Luke Skywalker versus who?
Rot's Anakin.
Mandalorian Luke Skywalker. He's a Grandmaster.
Lex Luthor versus T-800.
Arnold the T-800.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Lex Luthor because he basically has Metallo. He created his own T-800, which is better. But if it's Arnold would wreck Kevin Spacey and Gene Hackman combined.
Grayson.
No, get away from the children, Kevin. No.
Dick Grayson versus Catwoman.
They've actually fought before, and Dick Grayson has a soft spot, knowing that that's his dad's girlfriend. Although Catwoman's come on to Dick Grayson, and it's made Dick Grayson very uncomfortable. He was he was one uncomfortable Dick in that scenario.
TMNT versus Power Rangers.
I like Ninja Turtles better than Power Rangers, but I think the Power Rangers with the Zords would win. I think also the Power Rangers would probably win anyways. Is Tommy Oliver, is he involved? He'd take it.
Picard v Batman, intellectual only. That's a tough one.
Bruce Wayne Batman. Bruce Wayne Batman.
Well, he's saying intellectual only, so you're going.
Yeah, still smarter. Batman's smarter.
Okay.
Bruce Wayne's smarter.
All right, cool. Mandalorian versus Master Chief. That was me
Chief.
disagreeing.
Master Chief. I think. Okay, one more. Make it a good one.
Okay. Random scroll. Vampire Bat versus Zombie Spider-Man.
Ooh, that is a good one.
I'm gonna give you a couple more.
Also, just for the record, when they did the volume 2 of Zombie Spider-Man, I was the model for that. So, if you read that comic book series, I was the model for that for those books. So I would have to go with Zombie Spider-Man. Although, yeah, I go with Zombie Spider-Man.
Deathstroke versus Deadpool.
We did that one, and you were in it. Deadpool won.
Okay, Deadpool won. And that is everything, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Aaron, you want to wrap up the show?
To play us out. Hold on. Basically, definitely follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Follow Vera Bambi. She's on Instagram, Vera Bambi Live. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to bring Beatdown back next year for 10th anniversary with Indiegogo. Be sure and check us out at the LA Comic Con this Saturday. And we're going to bring on my dad here to play us out to end the show.
Now it's time to say goodnight. Good night.
We'll be back on tomorrow night, guys. It's a lot of fun. I love talking with you guys. Thank you so much for all the super chats. It's wonderful to chat. Love you guys. It's been a lot of fun. This is a great group to hang out with, and we'll see you this Saturday.
Sweet dreams for me.
Dreams, sweet dreams for you. Oh. All right. See you guys later. Have a good night. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hard day's
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Gotta work in.
Like a dog.